Hi there, it's Coco again. I'm back to talk to you a little bit more about nuts and bolts. I think you might have had a little bit of a review on this before with Taylor, but I would really like to go through a couple of these really key nuts and bolts with you to make sure we're absolutely 100% clear on some of these important things. Okay, so first, I want to talk to you about requesting time off. So, time off is very important to everyone. I actually feel like, that's really important. Um, at Alume, we believe that it's an important ingredient in the recipe for remarkable care that everyone has their due time off. The reason that and we're unusual to offer our per diem employees and part-time all employees the ability to accumulate time off, pay time off. The reason we do this is because we feel like it's the right thing to do, but also because we want to encourage you to be good communicators with us. We want you to tell us when you need time off, and we want you to be paid for time off as you accrue your time. So, because we do not like call outs. I can't express that enough. Like, call outs are so damaging to our families. But we want you to have time off, and we want to know in advance because we want to know how we're going to fill the shift that you're not there. You're important, you're valuable, you're needed, and when you're not there, it affects people's lives. So we would like for you to use the request time off form as a way of communicating when you plan to take time off, and use your paid time off as well if you've accrued enough. And so the way you can do that is just by requesting that document from HR. You just send an email to admin@alumecares.com and just request the time off form, and it'll be sent to you. We would ask that you submit the form at least 60 days before you request a time off, especially if it's related to holidays. We ask that you to do this well in advance, and the reason is so we have time to fill it. And in some cases, we might have to train somebody to be there while you're in your absence. So please be hypersensitive. This is a matter of remarkable care. This is how you can be remarkably caring to the people you care for, and to the scheduler and the HR people and the people on the team. You can extend remarkable care to them by following this request of letting us know in advance, as far in advance as you can let us know when you're not going to be wrong. So the way it works is time off is reviewed and approved by HR and by your supervisor, and once time is approved, it will be scheduled as paying time off in our systems. And our systems will let you know, our financial manager will let you know once the time off is approved, and that you'll be able to use your paid time off for that time. So it's important. Failure to report to work on scheduled days without approved time off will be seen as a no-show. You will not be given paid time off. You cannot use paid time off for no-shows or for not complying with our call-out procedures. So should you want to take time off, you need to do so by doing the request time off. That is the only way that you can use and utilize your paid time off, as if it comes through this channel. Should you desire to take time off beyond the number of hours available in your paid time off bank, you may still request time off using the form, but you won't be paid for those particular dates. So use the time off form regardless of whether the paid time off will be able to pay you. And that way will help us just to make sure we have somebody in place in case you are not able to be there. Okay, so paid time off. So from the moment you begin work at Alume, you begin to accrue paid time off. So in the first 90 days, you are not able to use your time off, but you are still accruing your time off. So after 90 days of actively working in the field, your paid time off is available for use, and the key is that you need to use the request time off form in order to request the time off, and that time can then be approved, and you can utilize the paid time off, and we'll pay you for that time. So this part, right now in T-Sheets is how you can see what your time off, paid time off is, and in the future it will be in a different system. We will be moving to a different system, but right now it's in the T-Sheet systems where you can find out what your available time off is. Call outs. So I always like to talk about call outs because call outs are, if you're a care provider, if you're really any role, call outs are really disruptive. The work you do is deeply valuable, needed, okay? And sick and disabled people, along with their families, are expecting you to show up. And so call outs are really, really serious. So the rule with call outs is that you must call out within 4 hours of your start of shift to give us some level of adequate time to respond to your call out and try to find somebody else to go in your place. Now, this is different than in skilled medical, regular visits where, okay, if you don't go in today, you can go in tomorrow. That's not how it works in shift nursing. That's not how it works in continuous care. If you don't come, that means that family who is expecting to have someone there is now, their life has been turned upside down. So we know that sometimes it happens, but we want as much warning as possible. So give us as much warning as you can. To call out, what do? All right? To call out, you call the office, and that phone number is 860-417-6881, and speak to the scheduler on call and let him or her know you will not be able to come in for your shift. We take call-outs seriously, okay? So call-outs are a path for disciplinary action. If you have 2 call-outs within 3 months, you will lose your permanent shifts. That will be it. If you have 3 call-outs within 3 months, you will be written up. 4 call-outs within 3 months is grounds for permanent dismissal. If you call out, I will tell you this, if you call out and you find a trained replacement for your shift, it will not be counted as a call-out. It means you covered it, it's taken care of, there's no issue. It will be considered a covered shift. So I encourage you to be in touch with your fellow team members should a call out occur, and do your very best to try to fill your shift with someone else. It would be an act of remarkable care to do that. Holidays. Okay, so I want to make it clear that as a Lume employee, that we provide care 365 days a year. And our patients need us 365 days a year. And of course, unfortunately for ourselves, that happens on days when we would probably prefer not to be working and would prefer to be with our families, like on holidays. So we do require that everyone participate, all care providers and everybody in the company, be prepared to work on holidays. So later this month, we'll put together a holiday schedule for the year. We'll ask you for your preferences of holidays to work, and we'll do our best to accommodate everyone's preferences. You are required to work some holidays, at least one summer holiday and at least one winter holiday. You will be paid time and a half for hours worked on holidays per the stated policy in our employee handbook. And failure to work your share of holidays will result in forfeiting your regularly scheduled shifts. So if you have regular shifts, in order to keep them, you are required to work holidays, at least one summer and one winter. So if you are scheduled to work a holiday and you yourself find someone else to work your shift for you, that will count as your shift being filled and not count against you. So that is a way to get out of having to do the holiday work. If you do not want to, you can do the extra legwork to fill it, and then it will not count against you. Overtime. I always want to talk about overtime. It's our policy not to have overtime. We want to make sure people are not overworking themselves, and it's important for us to try to avoid that. However, there will be times where we do, on a case-by-case basis, or in a time period where we have a big demand and a big push to try to meet patients' needs, where we may ask or extend the opportunity for overtime to the team. But in general, our policy is not to have overtime. We do what we can to avoid it. All right, so that's all I have, and I hope that this little bits and nuts and bolts wasn't too boring for you, and that it was a little digestible, and I hope you, if you have questions, you'll reach out to us and let me know. Have a good one and go make the world a better place.